If one were to travel through the vastness of the cosmos, they would discover that it's comprised of many beautiful stars and planets. The galaxies and constellations are spectacularly breathtaking, arrayed with vibrant gaseous clouds of the elemental colors of red, blue, and green. As they move through the great expanse of the cosmos, their alignments create images and visions that only those with special skill can see. Stargazers, as they're called, live in the world known as Lendoria and dwell within the land of Caelithan. Some of these stargazers lived within the area of Eagle's Forest, inside the safe haven kingdom of Eagle's Haven. While some saw visions of a coming time of great peace and prosperity for Lendoria, others warned of times of trouble, as they revealed that two great stars were nearing each other, each clad for war and wielding great swords of power. The destinies of all would be decided by them. They became known as the Stars of Destiny. The golden eagle's wings shimmered from the light of the orb as they flew high over their home of Eagle's Forest, landing within its large mush trees to rest in their nests and feed their young. In the north of the forest, where many of the golden eagles nested, stood the little kingdom of Eagle's Haven. It was founded before the War of Heroes by men, elves, dwarves, and fimps. With the passing of the War of Heroes and the coming of the Age of Alliances, the little kingdom remained untouched by the troubles of the outside world, or so they thought. As the light and hope that Annual had set in motion began to move forward, so did the darkness, with its goal to bring the world under its dominion. Behind the protective walls of Eagle's Haven, the good races have prospered and made many places to dwell, work, educate, train, and farm. 216 years into the Age of Alliances, a young elf started Crystal School. Having studied at home until the age of 12, as was common in Eagle's Haven, the elf quickly realized that his father was right. Old prejudices and pride still existed in their safe haven kingdom. Spuvok held his breath as he timidly climbed the stairs leading to the Crystal School's main double doors. He cautiously found his way through the main corridor that was crowded with students conversing or finding their way to their classes. Careful not to make eye contact with anyone, he breathed a sigh of relief when he sat down at his place in his classroom. It was a miracle, he thought, that no one had bothered him yet, as was usual, since some found it their job to pester him since he was of the mixed lineage of elf and fimf. Class started when the barely foot-high fimp instructor entered the room. The green crystal tied around his neck started to glow, and he took to the air by green dragonfly-like wings that appeared on his back. Here we go, Spuvok sighed, as the teacher slowly circled the room, lecturing. The elf quickly became bored, as the instructor's voice went on endlessly. Spuvok tuned out, and the instructor's words warped into mumbles and groanings. The elf eventually opened a well-used book on the desk table in front of him, having noticed his classmates opening theirs. He refocused his attention to the instructor just in time to hear the pages of their reading. He quickly skimmed through the pages, noticing their focus on elemental magic basics, and then brushed the book aside. Gosh, all this reading, it's so boring, he thought solemnly. I wish I was learning about swords and fighting like Elmian. Spuvok was so caught up in his thoughts, he didn't even notice his instructor once again begin to instruct. Class, Our next topic is about the element of wind within crystals. The teacher suddenly and instinctively felt that one of his students was not fully paying attention. "I sense a slacker," thought the teacher, as he then noticed Spuvok's blank stare, and the elf's book pushed aside. The instructor slammed his teacher's wand onto Spuvok's desk, causing the elf a great fright. "Daydreaming again," said the instructor, with a smile, shaped by anger and impatience. "Well, 3 extra reading assignments should keep your attention." Spuvok knew he was being unfairly punished, for the instructor usually only gave 1 or 2 extra assignments when assigning punitive measures. Although the elf felt like protesting, he held his peace, knowing full well it would have landed him into more trouble. The instructor huffed and turned away, addressing the class as if nothing had happened. "That's enough reading for now. Please close your books and listen. From what you just read, it's important to remember that wind is an inherent element within all crystals. In general class, a magic user can make the strongest wind with green crystals, but there are many factors to consider, like innate ability or the strength of one's mental will against another's." As the instructor continued to lecture and made some distance between him and Spuvok, one of the neighboring students decided it was the best time to pester the elf. "Stupid fairy elf," Spuvok heard him say, just loud enough for the elf to hear. "My friends and I are going to beat you up again today after school." Spuvok didn't reply or even look at his neighbor, whom he knew was named Protos, but just sighed, as he thought about how well his day was going.